and get it to me.
Those aren't supposed to be stapled,
It doesn't matter at this point. Okay. All right, whenever you are ready, you remember, you talk and I time, not the other way around.
When we were kids, we were taught by our parents that selfishness was a bad thing. And what they were relating or referring to was, physical things in our lives with, our toys and whatnot, so that we wouldn't be greedy later on. But later in life, you realize that there's a completely other side to this idea. And I've kind of taken the idea of selflessness to a completely different level. And very recently, I've lost myself in it. In most close relationships since adolescence for me, I have become completely devoted to that person and their well-being and their happiness, and in a way where it's just completely, inconvenienced my life, but I've never really seen it as a negative thing. That's just kind of the way that I am. I'm just constantly put a focus on other people, and it's not that I don't really want to look at my life, it's just, I don't know, I just have a huge heart and am constantly concerned with others. So in this way, I've realized that I've become incredibly vulnerable, and it's really kind of gotten to more of an unhealthy point right now. So anyway, it's just very difficult for me because I just tend to give and give and give, and then I usually just end up getting pushed out of that person's life in one way or another. And I find it really hard to reconnect with myself afterwards. And now I'm now realizing that at the end of my 5 years of college that I really need to start shifting the focus back to myself.
Okay, yeah, that's it. That's good. That's good. Sorry, yeah, this one beeps at 2:20, so,
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was trying to, hope you'd look at me so I could be like, wrap it up.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's good. It's the first time around. So, yeah, if you hear the beep at 2:20, you guys just want to end it. What?
Is this a stuff?
Yeah. I mean, it's not.
I know, but can I?
Okay. Yes, you may still use it as a podium.
All right.
I didn't want you to suddenly start calling all those podiums.
No, I realize, thank you.
It would be like your version of the dingle hopper. I did not get you late, but I'm gonna, Robert. Thank you for being late and inconveniencing you. This is really awesome of you. And then lean over and dare to ask me if I'd gotten you. I'm just kidding. Who else? Somebody else came in. Kara? Anybody else join us in the meantime? This is all going to be on video, by the way. Take it to the dean. That was hostile.
You're going to be the one that's in trouble for that.
That's what I said. I said you can take it to the dean and tell him I was being hostile. Okay, I got Kara, so we're still missing Anne, Jennifer, and Austin. Okay, just want to be sure. Good. All right, Michael, whenever you're ready, start on you. Oh, wait. I hear doors. Hello? I was trying to listen. Such a bunch of... Okay.
I think it's safe to say that most people like sports, and unlike most people, sports used to be my life. Growing up, I played 6 different sports on competitive teams, and that love for sports never dwindled as I grew older. I played basketball and ran track for my high school until the beginning of my junior year, and that was when my life changed forever, and I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. It was a warm day in September 2005, and I was driving to visit my girlfriend at work. the car that was driving in front of me started slow as it reached the top of the hill and then stopped abruptly as the car in front of it turned. I stepped my brakes really fast not to hit the car in front of me, but the truck that was driving behind me did notice, and he hit my car going 55 miles an hour and totaled my Honda Accord. After the accident, I found out that I had suffered whiplash and that I have permanent nerve damage on the side of my neck. Because of this, I would never be able to play full contact sports again. So now I had all this free time since I couldn't play sports, so I decided that I was going to get a job. My first job, I worked at the karate studio where I received my black belt. I really enjoyed being at the studio, but I soon found out that teaching wasn't for me. I wanted to do something with my life that was going to help people. So I sat down and thought about it for a while, and every time it would always come back to me thinking about my girlfriend's father and one of my other best friends who had recently passed away from cancer. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to help others overcome disease with my life. For the next 3 years, I worked as a pharmacy technician. I really enjoyed it, and I liked that I got to help people. But in my second year of college, I decided that I wanted to do something more. So I sat down and did a lot of research and finally came up with that I wanted to do tropical disease epidemiology. And next year I'm going to graduate with my with degrees in environmental health science and biology, and I'm going to go to grad school for epidemiology. And I still think it's crazy that getting into a car accident could actually help me decide what I want to do the rest of my life.
I'm paranoid now about this thing not recording. Okay, Fernando, whenever you're ready.
In many ways, I'm a typical college student, like most of you. I go to class, get good grades, worry about midterms, or giving class speeches. But unlike the typical college student, I dedicate a large portion of my time to the issue of oppression. My reasons for caring this much about this issue are still unclear to me, but the story of my 4th birthday is evidence that I've had a passion for the issue of oppression my entire life. Growing up somewhat poor in Brazil, oppression was a sobering reality every kid must eventually face. I never asked my parents for much, but in November 1994, I was willing to do anything for a Power Rangers action figure collection I saw on TV. I begged and pleaded with my parents, hoping I could get them to splurge on me this one time. Finally, my birthday came, and I noticed several wrapped up presents editions of action figure toy boxes in the living room floor. I picked one at random, hoping it would be the red Power Ranger, my favorite. As I tore open the box, a heavy feeling set up in my heart as I noticed the inscription Barbie on the box. Staring at that perfect plastic representation of what my gender was supposed to be, a rage befell me, and I threw the box at my father's face, exclaiming, "Sexist," as I stormed into the other room. To this day, no one in my family can recall how I learned that word or how I knew how to use it in the appropriate context. But one thing is clear, I know and care when I'm being oppressed. 16 years later, I'm still fighting with my parents and the world about enforcing gender stereotypes on myself and others. I have dedicated my life to fighting oppression by educating those around me not only about oppression's effects in our community, but how oppression is enforced by society. Ultimately, as members of society, we need to realize our own personal accountability on this issue and come arrive at the critical conclusion that we each have a personal responsibility to end the cycle of oppression by simply becoming aware of it.
Ready?
No. Thanks for asking. Okay, now I'm ready.
Okay, I assume that most of y'all enjoy walking into Sanford Stadium on a beautiful fall Saturday afternoon. You know, maybe a few drinks in your system, but either way, ready to watch the dogs kick some ass. I love it, but I hate waking up in the morning and learning about the latest University of Georgia football player to be arrested. This past year alone, 11 football players were arrested, and I was one of them. I walked on the University of Georgia football team in the spring of my freshman year, 2008, as a punter. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool. We were preseason number 1. I got to hang out with Sean Morena and Matthew Stafford every day. Being an athletic person and loving competition, I love the challenges that being on a football team gave me. By the end of my second season, I earned the job as the backup punter. However, on April 20th, 2010, my world kind of changed. I was arrested in downtown Athens for public intoxication, and a few days later, I was dismissed from the football team. Within 24 hours, the Red and Black, the AJC, and my hometown paper had all ran stories on my situation. And to say the least, I was embarrassed. And not only had I embarrassed myself, but I embarrassed my family, the team, the school, and Bulldog Nation. Through my time on the team, I learned a lot of valuable lessons about sacrifice, time management, dedication, perseverance, consistency. But the most important lesson I learned was not from being on the team, but from being off the team. And that lesson was how to face adversity. In retrospect, I wouldn't change my experience on the team. I walked away with valuable lessons, great friends, and great memories.
Well, the novelty to me is actually kind of weird, and I'm pretty sure it's unique. I'm just going to come out with it. I have a BB permanently stuck in my cheek. You're probably wondering how it got there. Well, maybe not. I was shot in the face on purpose by my brother. It happened when I was 13. It took me about a month to realize it was stuck in there. I guess I wasn't too bright. But then I guess I told my mom a year later. She smacked me upside the head and called me an idiot for, I guess, my wrongdoing. Anyway, I tell you this because at 21, I'm a product of my environment, and that environment is a big family. And I know it sounds intense to be shot in the face with a BB gun, and it probably is, but it's one of those crazy things that happens in a big family that seems to happen all the time. For example, skiing down a mountain, racing through the woods, run into a tree. ER, I guess we all wear helmets now because of that. But when you put 5 kids in one place at one time, you're going to have people one-upping each other or trying to do something no one else has ever done. And it taught me a lot about myself and about people. My family has 7 people in it. 2 parents, 3 boys, and 2 girls. The boys came out first. I'm right in the middle of those. And we had a bunch of ER visits and principal's office visits, so I'm sure my mom was pumped about the girls coming out next. Growing up with a big family also taught me how to have tough skin. Because when you sit around a dinner table with 7 people, there's always someone who's being ridiculed by the family. And it's all in good fun, but you gotta be tough to take all that. And you gotta have quick wit to give it right back. I think my family keeps me on my toes, and still does. And it taught me a lot about myself. Well, being in the family might be crazy and hectic, but I came out pretty good, and I think my brothers and sisters have as well. It's a constant learning experience, and you learn about yourself through interaction with others. So my family can make you laugh, can make you cry, can make you responsible and humble, and sometimes, you know, can make you self metal detectors. Thank you all.
Would I want me?
Sorry,
you touch my face. Always does. Always.
No, it's okay. I'm okay with this. I was trying to use the one on my phone too, and my phone kept ringing, so thanks though. All right, Sarah, whenever you are ready.
Other people's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Yes, it's another cliche, inspirational quote, but for me, it's proven very true. I'm sure most of you have been around someone who's doubted your abilities. Well, I had a situation like this when I was a sophomore in high school, and if I would have let one man's opinion change my belief in myself, I wouldn't be standing in front of you right now. I started playing softball in the first grade, and around the age of 12, my parents put me on a travel team in Dallas because the competition wasn't very high in my small Texas town. It was here that I began to excel at softball and just grow an absolute passion for the game. My dream became to one day play in college for a top 10 school. Around 15, I received my first recruiting letter, and college coaches began showing up watching us play. It became reality that one day my dream might come true. So fast forward a few years later, and Alabama and Georgia were at the top of my recruiting list. However, at a tournament one weekend, the Alabama coach was there. He stated that he no longer wanted me to come to Alabama and play for his university, and also that he thought I would never make it as a college pitcher. Well, I don't know if any of you have ever experienced something like this, but my heart was completely crushed. I felt like his opinion had taken away all the confidence I had built up to that point. My dad, the one person in my life who can always boost my confidence, assured me that he believed in me and that I must also believe in myself for other people to believe in me too. A few weeks later, my coach now came to watch me play. I had the game of my life, and in a few weeks, I was committed to play softball at the University of Georgia. Situations like this are likely to arise for each of us. I now know that you must buy into yourself for other people to buy into you also. There are going to be people out there who are roadblocks trying to keep us from where we want to go. Thankfully, my roadblock wasn't too big, and I successfully landed in Athens, a place where my team has the opportunity to beat Alabama every year.
Give me a second. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Everyone loves to do something. Whether it's a hobby, playing a sport, talking on the phone, or even shopping, it's something that you live for. I love making films. When I was in the 8th grade, my parents gave me a video camera to record my little brother's basketball game. Ever since then, I've been passionate about making movies, short films, and documentaries. I've spent countless hours in editing rooms, I've watched multitudes of videos, and I've read a handful of books all dedicated to honing this craft. Unlike most film students, though, I don't want to make big films. I don't want to make major motion pictures with multi-million-dollar budgets. In fact, I'll probably make a little money for myself. I think to understand where I'm heading, though, you have to understand where I'm coming from. I was born in New York on March 29th, 1992, 9 weeks ahead of schedule and a mere 3 pounds and 12 ounces. Being born this early created several problems. I didn't have the suck swallow reflex, and I needed a blood transfusion in order to live. Having an uncommon type of blood, only 2 other people in my family have the same blood type as me, my mother and my grandfather. Since my mom had just given birth, she wasn't able to give me her blood, so my grandparents made the trip to New York, and my grandfather came to my rescue and gave me his blood for my transfusion. This story is one of the motivations for wanting to make nonprofit films. My true passion is to use my knowledge of new media to help others and bring awareness. I've been fortunate enough to have visited 4 different third world countries on sort of a working vacation, I guess you could call it. And we were there to help the poor and the desperate. And while I was there, you can be sure that I had a video camera in my hand recording what I saw to take back and show the people at home. I think half the battle of getting these people help is getting people in our country to care about someone that they may never even meet. This is what I want to do with my life. I remember the fact that if no one was around to help me when I couldn't help myself, I would have died. And I want to help bring life to others like my grandfather did for me.
Okay, Jan, whenever you're ready.
Okay. How much
does a family truly impact your life? For me, my little brother has changed it. Timmy, as a 5-year-old, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. After that diagnosis, my life had changed. Timmy could never go to sleepovers because my mom would feel bad about giving the parents the responsibility to check his blood sugar in the middle of the night. He could never actively play sports while me and my other brother were on travel teams, constantly joining clubs and all other sorts. He was the odd man out. His life was a constant worry. So you're probably thinking, how does this affect me? My mom, being like most moms are, constantly worried about her son, was always thinking about Timmy. Timmy this, Timmy that. Is Timmy okay? Vacations were never spontaneous. They're always planning around great hospitals. Their desserts were always sugar-free, and you can only imagine the anxiety Halloween brought to my family. So Timmy, being this cute, innocent kid, sick, how could I truly have resentment towards him? I mean, he was my little brother, he was sick. But actually, coming into college had changed that resentment into appreciation. Every day when I'm walking around campus and looking at various sorts of individuals, I think about maybe they too are sick, like Timmy. Maybe they have a family or a sick sibling. My resentment towards Timmy changed into appreciation for my own body too. I take that apple instead of eating that ice cream cone, and I constantly want to be spontaneous because Timmy isn't allowed to. Ultimately, Timmy has made me realize that everybody has their own set of problems. So when you look at a cupcake, what do you think? I think about Timmy, I think about my life, and I think about all the blessings he made me realize.
I'd like to start out by telling y'all that I'm from Atlanta, but I'm going to stop right there. Unlike the majority of students you meet here who are from Atlanta, I'm actually from Atlanta, Midtown to be exact, and Virginia Highlands to be even more precise. Growing up in the inner city provided many unique experiences, and one of which was being a minority. This might sound shocking to you as I stand in front of you, a white male who would never be cast into a minority group. But I attended Grady High School, which is a fine establishment in the not-so-fine Atlanta public school systems. The makeup of Grady was about 70% black, 30% white, with not too much in between. And I'll admit, outside of its communication magnet, it's really not that great of a school. And while most parents who live in a school district like this would send their kids to private school before they were walking, mine decided not to, and I'm really glad they did. At Grady, the athletics diversity was a little bit more skewed. Some sports, like soccer, were played mostly by white kids, while others, like football, the sport which I played, was predominantly black. In the 4 years that I was there were never more than three white kids on the roster, and my senior year I was the Lone Ranger, the only white kid. Needless to say, I stuck out like a sore thumb in team photos. And there were even some games when I was the only white kid on either team, and we were playing schools like Douglas or Washington. Now, through spending time with my teammates in the locker rooms and on Sundays cooking out for the Falcons game, I learned a lot about a culture that was very different from my own. And through these experiences, I feel that I've developed a much more open-minded view of the people that I meet and a more diverse view of the world in general. And it's also given me one interesting trait. I can officially say that I'm bilingual in the state of California, or at least I would have been in the mid-90s.
I don't get it. Is like California ghetto your second language?
In the mid-90s, the Board of Education in California started teaching
that's when they
classes.
made Ebonics official? Oh, okay. All right. I did get it. I guess I just did think about it. Okay. You guys were like 8 in the mid-90s.
Yeah, I didn't know in the 90s.
Oh yeah, whenever you're ready, sorry.
Okay. So I'm an athlete, right? I'm pretty sure that my parents actually got married just to produce athletes. I mean, they both went to college at the University of Southern California. My dad played football there, and he won the Rose Bowl in '85, and my mom ran track there. She did the 800, which is one of the hardest races. So needless to say, they are pretty athletic. My brothers are also really athletic, so my whole childhood
consist of just eating and breathing of athletics. And needless to say, I have a lot of confidence when it comes to sports. Being an athlete, I never got to grow my confidence in other things, such as singing, which is one of my biggest passions. It wasn't until this year that I actually started excelling in this. I was sitting in my counselor's office one day, and we were just talking about whatever, and she was like, "What do you feel about singing the national anthem at a sporting event?" And I was like, well, I guess that would be cool. I wasn't too into it because really I'm kind of scared of singing in front of a lot of people. But then I kind of realized that I could do this. Like, why not? Why not be an athlete and a singer at the same time? So I sang at the Auburn gymnastics meet in front of over 9,000 people, and that was a huge rush. And it was so exciting. After that, I decided to audition for UGA Idol, and I made the cut. And so now I am competing for that in a month. And it is more than just singing, I have to actually perform too, which is something I've always dreamed of doing, but never thought I would actually do. So I'm actually singing the national anthem tonight, and I'm pretty nervous for that, but I'm pretty confident that I could do well in that too. Being an athlete, I have that confidence, and I now realize that I can also have confidence in my other passions.
Okay, Tori, whenever you're ready.
Get to the ball, make the tap, don't let her bite. As a soccer player, those are things you hear constantly. Soccer was a constant in my life. It's the one thing that kept my family close and helped me adapt to change. My father was in the Army majority of my childhood, so everywhere we moved, soccer was there. When I first started playing, I didn't start out hitting the ball like Beckham. I actually enjoyed picking the flowers off the field instead. Our first big move was to Seoul, South Korea. The first thing my parents did was sign my brother, sister, and I up for soccer. At this point, my dad became my coach. He was often in the field, so it was nice to have him on the field when I was playing. All the kids on the team became my friends and gave me a sturdy base. From this point on, making new friends and accepting new cultures became natural. Our next duty station was Fort Riley, Kansas. I was still playing soccer, but my feelings toward it weren't what you would expect. I hated the sport, but my dad would never let me quit. He always told me, "You love soccer." And I would always reply, "Okay, Daddy," with tears in my eyes. From this point on, I knew my dad would always have my back no matter what. And I did eventually begin to love soccer, and I did eventually achieve success. Today, I'm a member of the soccer team here at the University of Georgia. Being a member of this team guaranteed me a group of friends from day one. Unlike some college freshmen, I had someone helping me every step of the way. Soccer helped me adapt to change and kept my family close. And without it, I wouldn't be where I am today. I'm proud of my accomplishments, but no one is more proud than my parents. My dad always tells me he's finally getting a return on his investment. He'd probably have a heart attack if I quit soccer. Soccer is not just the sport I play. It's the glue that holds my family together.
I don't know, it's lots of people can say well theirs. All right, whenever you're ready, Chapman.
Hi, my name is Chapman, and I struggle every day with addiction. My reality is that I'm a typical college-age student, and that I have no money of my own. I really haven't done anything significant with my life up until this point. My addictions allow me to escape this reality. Allow me to share my first addiction. Call of Duty Black Ops. I'm addicted to a video game. How did it start, you may ask? Well, my roommate, the master enabler himself, introduced me about 2 weeks ago. I remember my first game like it was yesterday. It seemed so innocent at first, but now I'm hooked. This game allows me to become a soldier who dominates 12-year-olds over Xbox Live every day. I've escaped my reality. Next, strawberry ice cream. I love strawberry ice cream. I'm addicted to strawberry ice cream. Me and strawberry ice cream have had many battles. Mano a mano, spoon as my weapon. But there are no losers in these battles, for I view a tub of strawberry ice cream as a portal. A portal into another world. A world where worries do not exist and satisfaction is but a bite away. I have escaped my reality. Let's face it, we all have addictions. My addictions allow me to escape my mundane reality. What do your addictions do for you?
No over to top congratulations, because then they're going to get my comments and be like, but everybody else really liked it. Medium, congratulations on all speeches. Medium. Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Some kids want to be astronauts when they grow up, while others want to be in show business. But for me, I wanted to be an Olympic gymnast. Yeah, I know it's pretty unrealistic considering that only 6 women are on the national team, but how was I supposed to know that at the time? What I do know now is that gymnastics has given me the tools to be a self-reliant person, which I am very grateful for. See, I began gymnastics when I was 7 years old. I wasn't very good at it, but that didn't matter to me because it was fun, and most importantly, I made a lot of friends. At first, gymnastics was just a social after-school activity, but eventually it became my life as I qualified for the competition team at my gym. Practice 5 days a week and competitions every single weekend. I remember my coach telling me when I made the competition team, in her Bulgarian accent, Kara, this is going to be a very big commitment. It's not going to be fun and games anymore, it's going to be hard work. But she also told me that my hard work would pay off when I won competitions. Well, I may not have won, but my hard work did pay off. For example, during a competition, I fell off the balance beam and immediately began to cry. I ran off to my coach in need for a desperate hug, but instead, she greeted me with an angry voice saying, "What are you doing? You cannot give up. Get back up there and finish your routine." I remember wiping off my tears, faking a smile, and getting back up there. I'm not exactly sure if I got up there to prove to myself, my coach, or the judges that I was just as good as everyone else. Regardless of my reason, I made the right decision. I did not let one obstacle get in the way of gymnastics and me. Obviously, I didn't make it to the Olympics, but I've been able to take what I learned from gymnastics and apply it to my new passions, which are lacrosse and dancing. Not to mention, I apply being a self-reliant person in my everyday activities. I'm able to be who I want to be, choose what I want to do, and most importantly, I listen to my own instincts, and you should too.
Sorry, that was a weird passage.
Yeah.
Your phone? Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, somebody else has that question, that's fine, just as long as you're not necessarily. Is this it? Okay.
Sorry, I'm like terrified of public speaking.
No, don't do that. Start the speech.
Okay.
It's good practice.
Many of us have that one friend that we've had forever, one that's always very supportive but isn't afraid to tell it like it is. Well, my friend that's always been in my life is named Carson. And when I say she's been in my life, I mean literally. Like, I was there the day she was born in the hospital. So one
the next set of speeches, and we'll do a little debriefing on Tuesday about, things to think about from this round. Your videos will be on YouTube, in the next day or two, so be sure to watch them. You will get grades back on Tuesday. Okay, all of you. As a note about these grades, I don't want to carry around your graded work for 2 weeks. So if you missed that day, be sure to ask for it the next time, because after 2 or 3 times, I just recycle it. So just be, it's not a big deal. If you don't want it, don't take it, but I don't want to, I have enough stuff to carry without that, or I'll just leave it in my office and you can get it. So just try to remind me, because I do have the stuff on me for a limited period of time. And the number grades will be in ELC. And I think other than that, have a nice weekend. Don't forget to do the quiz for Tuesday. It'll be up, today or tomorrow. The people that spoke need to stay. Everybody else can go.
Yeah. Did you not say at the beginning of class that it wasn't necessary to have stuff every week? All of them? Well, is there the readings are online?
Yep.
ELC?
Have you not figured that out yet?
I did, but